morning, Ms. Rodriguez.
Good morning.
It's been a while. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing well. So, I want to give the jury a more complete picture of the evidence that you have in this case, okay? I want to start by talking about the relationship you had with Katherine back in 2013. You became pretty close, like you said, with Katy when you became pregnant, right?
Yes.
So that was in 2013.
Yes.
Even though you had been close with Louis and Sigfrido for 12 years, Katherine really didn't come into the picture for you until 2013, right?
Correct, as a friend.
As a friend. Now, around that time, you'd say you guys kind of bonded over the fact of you're both being mothers, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you'd have play dates with the kids sometimes?
Yes.
And you have one child for Louis?
Yes.
Okay, and he has other children, though, with other women, correct?
With one more woman, yes. Correct.
Okay. Is that Annie Diaz?
Yes.
Okay. And how many children does he have with her?
2.
How old are they?
Objection, relevance?
Overruled, if you know.
In their 20s?
Okay, they're older, right?
Correct.
Okay, and wasn't Mr. Rivera in a relationship with that woman when he was a teenager?
Yes.
Objection, relevance?
Overruled.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you and Annie aren't friends, are you?
We're not friends, no.
Okay. Do you guys get along?
Now we do, yes.
Okay, but back then you didn't?
Somewhat, you could say.
Okay, where do you know where Annie lived at the time?
Yes.
Was that 1805 Normandy Drive?
Yes.
Okay, so that address that is on Louis Rivera's driver's license is her address?
Correct.
All right. Now, you would agree with me that Sigfrido and Katy were constantly breaking up and getting back together?
Yes.
And at the time that you were pregnant, you stated that she and Sigfrido were in a serious separation, correct?
I don't remember.
You don't
If
remember?
you have it, I would like to see it.
All right, I'm referring to her deposition, page 16. Wait, hold on one second. Oh, sorry, page 14.
Okay.
Beginning at line 13.
Okay.
Has your memory been refreshed?
Yes, it has.
So at the time you were pregnant, she and Sigfrido were in a serious separation, correct?
Correct.
Now, your daughter was born, like you said, on June 27th?
27th, yes.
Now, you weren't immediately released from the hospital, isn't that true?
No.
How long did you stay in the hospital? Because you had complications with your birth.
About a week.
So you weren't released from the hospital with the baby until way into July. Not way into, but a week from June 27th.
Yes, before July 4th.
Okay. Now, one of the issues that you know that Katy had with Sigfrido, because you described their relationship as toxic, right?
Yes.
Was his constant drinking.
Correct.
Okay. You're fully aware of how much alcohol Sigfrido Garcia would drink, right?
Yes.
And Katy did not approve of how much he would drink.
No.
She always drank in excess, right?
She or he?
He.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. And it's not just alcohol that he would consume. He also did a lot of cocaine, right?
Correct.
All right. And there were times when Sigfrido would actually go binge drinking for days, and no one would know where he was,
Correct.
including the mother of his kids.
Correct.
Now, Katy, as far as you knew, did not approve of the drug use either.
No.
The drinking and the drugs not allowed around her.
Correct.
And this is one of the reasons why she would constantly kick him out of the house, right?
To my knowledge.
Okay, because the alcohol and the cocaine, it also contributed to the fact that he wasn't around to help her with the kids, right?
Correct.
You knew of times when she would be calling and he would just not pick up the phone,
Yes, correct.
okay? And also, he couldn't hold down a job.
I don't know that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't know him to have a steady job like how Lewis had a steady job.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this second time, this serious separation that she had stated that she wanted nothing to do with him anymore, right?
I believe so. Yes.
So he's out of the house. And when he and Katy were separated, that's when he started dating the stripper, Shrimp.
Correct.
All right. Now, she worked as a stripper and a pole dancer, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you know she was also a prostitute?
From what I was told.
Okay. So this is
Allegedly, I
another
guess.
thing that
Yeah.
Katherine, if he was staying with a prostitute, didn't want her kids around, right?
No.
No, she wouldn't want that.
No, like she's had her kids around, both of them.
No, understood. But if she's not around drugs, because Shrimp use drugs too, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you would agree with me that that would be another thing that she would be upset at if that was around her children.
Yes.
And she also talked to you about her relationship with her boss, Charlie, right?
Yes.
So you knew his name.
No, I didn't know his name until after.
Okay. And she talked to you about him, though, that she was dating this guy. It wasn't
Correct.
a secret. And around the time of your baby shower for your daughter, that was around February, March of 2014. Right?
I don't remember.
Okay. Would looking at your deposition refresh your recollection?
Sure.
I'm referring court and counsel to page 27 of her deposition. Your Honor, may I approach?
May.
Beginning at line 5.
Here? Yes. Okay, yes.
Has your memory been refreshed?
Yes.
Okay, so it was around February, March. The baby shower.
It doesn't say that on there. It
Oh.
just says during my baby shower. I just
Okay.
don't remember what month it was.
Okay, so
8
around,
years ago.
but we can agree that it's close to,
Correct.
you were showing at that time, right?
Yes.
All right. And she was over Tuto at that time, Sigfrido.
Yes.
And she actually said to you that she was seeing someone from work. Those are the words that she used.
No.
She didn't say that to you?
No.
Okay. Do you remember giving a deposition in this case?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was present. Mr.
Yeah.
DePost was present. Ms. Kappelman was pregnant. Was present. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Hope I'm not jinxing you. A court reporter was present, and she was taking down everything that you said at the time, right?
Correct.
You swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, just like
Correct.
you did today?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start at, I want to give it context, but I don't want to. Okay, so I'm going to start at line 13. She was referring to Shrimp. Yes, he is never going to leave Shrimp alone. I'm over it. I'm kind of seeing someone, I said. That's nice. Who is it? She goes, someone I know from work. That was the first time I heard that someone I know from work.
Yes, but the way you're saying it to me, it was as if it was during the baby shower, and it wasn't.
Oh, no, I'm just talking around that general time. Not
It
exactly
wasn't during
at the,
that general time. It
So-
was further on. It was later on, after I had already my youngest daughter.
So you're saying you only knew that she was dating Charlie after you had the baby?
Yes,
So you didn't know
for
she
my
was
second address. Correct.
Okay, so she wasn't dating Charlie to your knowledge
To my knowledge, I did not know. No.
at the time of what you're testifying to today occurred in July.
In July, I did. See,
Okay.
this is what I'm trying to tell you. You're still on the baby shower. The baby shower happened way before I had my daughter.
Okay,
So after the baby shower, I had my daughter the new address. That's when she told me that she was dating someone from work.
right, but you were at the old address when you say that she and Tuto came and dropped a package to your house.
Correct.
So she didn't tell you she was dating him until after that?
Yes,
Around the time that she actually broke up with him?
correct.
Okay. Now, even though you knew, now, at some point too, didn't Sigfrido tell you that she left me for her boss?
Yes.
Okay? That she was with him and that she worked for him?
Correct.
Okay. Sigfrido also knew Charles's name, right?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Do you remember giving a statement, do you remember giving a statement to the police on October 2nd of 2016?
I remember them going to my job.
Not that one. The one after Lewis cooperated.
Refresh my memory, it's been so long.
Remember Detective Isom and and Agent Sanford came to your apartment the day after Katherine Magbanua was arrested?
It was the house, not the apartment.
And,
Correct, yes.
and his sister was there with you. Remember that?
Don't remember.
Okay. Then they were in your house and they recorded your entire statement.
They went in, correct, yes.
Right.
It was my house. It wasn't an apartment.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
And pages 86 and 8. You knew you were being recorded, right?
Yes.
Okay. You knew that the officers were there because they were investigating this case.
Yes.
You'd actually already told them that you would help Lewis at that point, right?
Help Lewis and how?
Providing information to Sherry Bennett the day before Katy was arrested. We're going to get to that.
I don't know who Sherry Bennett is.
The officer that called you on the phone.
Okay.
Okay. But that happened before, but we're going to get to that, all right? But as it relates to this, you actually told the officers on page 86 to 87.
I don't have an 86 from the 10 to.
And Investigator Isom said, did he ever say that it was the Charlie guy, Jessica Rodriguez? Yeah. He'll be like, pardon my language, Judge. He'll be like, fuck that Charlie ass N-word. Like, he knew his name.
Can I speak now?
Yeah.
Okay. That was after I had found out that she was dating him. But the whole time prior, we always knew him as the dentist. At least to my knowledge, I knew him as the dentist.
Correct, but the statement that you gave to the detective was he knew his name.
Yes, after.
But I'm just asking if what you told the detective, not he knew his name after. They asked, did he know of Charlie? And you said, yes, he knew his name.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the way Katy, whenever she talked to you about Charles, she didn't talk to him like it was a serious relationship, right?
To my knowledge, we only spoke maybe once or twice about it.
But it wasn't anything serious, just casual.
It was quick. Tuto was outside.
Okay. So while Sigfrido is outside at your house, she talked to you inside about Charlie?
Yes.
When did that happen?
It was a play date, and he showed up.
What?
I think, I'm not sure if it was a play date. Let me correct that, because I don't want to say something that I don't remember. It was either a play date or they were super separated, and sometimes she would drop off the kids there and he would pick them up.
Oh, so your house was somewhat like a drop-off point, kind of,
Sometimes.
even though they weren't together.
Correct.
This is at the old apartment?
No, at the house.
At the house. Okay, so there would be times that even though they weren't speaking, that they'd arrange to have a neutral place for Sigfrido to come and pick up the kids?
No, it's just wherever Tuto was at the moment, and he was always in my house.
Okay, so, but you're saying that they were separated and then they would be at your house at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know Katy was working in the club scene in Miami, right?
Yes.
Okay. She had a job promoting liquors. You know about that?
Yes.
She was, and this was in 2014?
Don't remember the year.
Okay. Would showing your deposition refresh your recollection?
Great.
Page 36. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So she was doing these jobs in 2014, right?
Correct.
You actually saw her doing the jobs once at the liquor club, doing the liquor stuff, right?
No,
Did you ever see her working at the club?
no,
You never actually saw her, you never went out and saw her working at the club?
not to my recollection, no.
Were you guys friends on Facebook?
Yes,
Did you see pictures of her posting when she would post that she was working?
I believe so, yes.
Now, being a bottle girl in Miami, and I hate saying that, but you doing that kind of job in Miami, you know, you've lived there most of your life?
Yes,
Okay, and that is a job that you can make some cash in, right?
I wouldn't know, I've never worked one.
You've only done nails since you've been a teenager.
Correct.
All right. Now, let's talk about Luis Rivero.
Okay.
You were in a relationship with Luis Rivera for 9 years, correct?
Correct,
And he is the father of your youngest daughter.
yes,
And you are still in a relationship in June to July of 2014 when they're saying that all of this stuff took place, right?
yes,
Now, I want to talk about his family. He's very close with all of his family members.
yes,
3 brothers, 2 sisters.
correct,
And he's very close with his mother, right?
yes,
Takes good care of her.
yes.
Gives her a lot of money.
I wouldn't know,
Okay. He doesn't give you money, right?
no. he
Or never
doesn't.
did?
At that moment, no.
No. Okay. And he's very close to his sister Maria, right?
He's close to all his siblings.
Okay. You wouldn't say that Maria is the one he is closest to? Or you haven't said that to me before?
I believe I have told you that.
Okay. You described her as Luis's confidant.
Not confidant, if that's how I described her. I don't remember during that period of time when I did the deposition with you.
Mm-hmm.
Confidant in the sense of holding his secrets and cheating, nothing else. Because it was a time where I had found out that he was cheating and she knew. That's what I mean by confidant.
Oh, okay. So that she would keep all the bad things that she knew would upset you from you.
No, she was just his sister, just like I am with mine. If she's cheating, I'm not gonna tell the world, hey, she's cheating.
Oh, okay. So
No.
if, for example, if he was doing anything wrong that you wouldn't have approved of, she's not going to tell on her brother, right?
Louis does everything wrong in front of whoever, so he doesn't keep secrets. Just
But you
cheating.
didn't know about the murder he committed, though, right?
No, correct,
Okay, so he was good at keeping that from you.
correct.
And you were very close to him, right?
Yes,
You had no idea that he went up on a trip in June, right?
correct,
And you had no idea that he went and committed a murder in July
correct,
of a father of 2 boys.
correct.
Okay. Now, back in 2014, Lewis worked full-time construction, right?
Yes,
But that wasn't his only source of income,
no,
okay? He sold cocaine,
yes.
right? Now, I know Ms. Kappelman tried to make it seem like he's some drug lord from Colombia that is making millions of dollars, but that wasn't the nature of his operation, right?
No,
He's a low-level drug dealer,
yes.
okay? I mean, did he sell drugs in front of you?
Multiple occasions, yes.
Okay. Did he sell bricks of cocaine, or did he?
No.
No. Did he breaking it down to street-level sales?
Yeah,
Okay. And he not only did that, but he also robs drug dealers, right?
yes,
And apart from that, because this is something that Ms. Kappelman left out, he was a Latin King gang member,
yes.
all right? Ever since he was a teenager.
I don't know how long.
But you've known him for 9 years.
As 9 years, he was a Latin King from my knowledge of what I know. I don't know when he started.
Okay, but for the whole time you knew him, he was a member, right?
Correct,
He has a big tattoo across his stomach
yes,
saying that he's a Latin King, right?
yes,
And as for his RICO case, that is what he pled guilty to, was racketeering and being a Latin King gang member.
yes.
Now, the first time you ever heard about the murder of Dan Markel was when they arrested Sigfrido Garcia, right?
Correct,
Now, that was on May 25th of 2016, correct?
yes,
Now, at that time, Lewis is already in federal custody, right?
yes.
And when Sigfrido was initially arrested for this murder, they didn't release to the media why or what the connection was yet, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. You didn't know yet that Lewis was potentially involved. When Sigfrido was arrested, they didn't initially mention Lewis's involvement, right?
No,
That didn't happen until June 2nd, right?
I don't remember the dates.
But you do remember that police officers came to your job to talk to you in June, right?
Yes.
All right. On that day, you saw on the news that now Lewis was implicated in this murder, right?
It was on the news prior to that when they came.
Okay, so you had already seen it on the news because you told the cops,
Yeah.
I know what you're here for. It's all over the news,
Correct.
right? And if I told you that the date that you met with them was June 2nd, 2016, do you have any reason to believe that that's not the date?
If that's the date that they put, then they would know more than me.
Okay. And once that came out, before they even got there, you started researching everything online, right?
Yes.
You've even purchased a subscription to the Tallahassee Democrat.
Probably did.
That was the newspaper that was covering the story at the time, right?
I don't remember because I literally just purchased it a couple weeks ago. So if I purchased it at that time, I don't remember.
You don't remember, but would looking at your October 2nd statement to the detectives refresh your recollection?
Sure.
I'm referring to page 6. All right, I'm going to get back to that in 1 second because I don't think I have the correct page number. Okay, so the first time the detectives ever came to talk to you, like we discussed, was June 2nd of 2016. That's a week after Sigfrido was arrested, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, they didn't tell you that they were actually recording that conversation with you, right?
Not to my knowledge, I don't remember.
Okay. And you don't remember, or?
I don't remember them telling me that they were recording or not
Okay.
recording.
And back then you told them, this is on June 2nd, you didn't know anything about this, right?
Correct.
You never told them about Katy and Sigfrido coming to your house with a package.
They never asked.
I understand, but you just testified on direct that the only time that Katy and Sigfrido ever came to your house to deliver a package was one time, right?
Yes.
You knew at this time that there was some involvement with Sigfrido and Lewis, right? And they were asking you about Katy.
I don't remember.
You don't remember if they specifically said that they were down there or that they were asking you about Katy's involvement?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. It's been so long. But if you have something that states that I said it or said anything, then I would really like to see it.
Oh, you would like to see it? Okay.
Yeah, so I could refresh my memory. It's been 8 years.
So this is the June 2nd statement. This is on page 4. You're on here, vote?
Yes.
What's the date of the statement, Ms. Claus?
Pardon me? The date?
Yes.
June 2nd. June 6th. No, wait, no, June 2nd. This is the recorded statement to ISOM, and I provided transcripts in.
Okay, I'm with you.
They didn't ask me.
They didn't ask you, but you even offered that you know Sigfrido Garcia, Luis Rivera, and his wife, right?
Yes,
So you knew that they were asking you about what you knew about Katy, Sigfrido, and Luis.
I told them that I knew all three of them, obviously.
All right, but my question to you is you never mentioned in June anything about that one time that stood out to you where Katy comes to your house with Sigfrido and they drop off a package. You never said that. in
No,
June.
because it never stood out to me until my mind got recollected of the events.
And we'll get to that in a second. You did tell them that Sigfrido was the one who paid for Katy's implants, right?
To my knowledge, that's what I knew. That's what she told me.
Okay, and you also told them that Luis paid for the bike by selling his car and taking out money from his 401k.
That's what he told me, yes.
Okay, he lied to you.
Apparently so.
Okay. He told you that now these detectives told you what they were investigating, and you said, I've read all about it online.
Correct.
Okay? And you said, I don't know anything.
Correct.
You do remember seeing a probable cause affidavit later on released for Katy, right? In the media.
Yes.
A 24-page document detailing how she was supposedly involved in this, right?
Correct.
Okay? It was over 20 pages long, right?
Yes.
And these warrants or unsigned warrants were, even though they were released to the media, okay, this was way before, months before Katy was arrested on October 1st, right?
It's been so long, I guess, yes.
Yeah, but you never contacted those detectives, even though you read all of that, to say, hey, listen, I remember this weird thing that happened with Katy.
Why would I contact them?
To give them information about what you know about this case.
I didn't know anything about the case. So how did I know at that moment that was that? So rephrase yourself because I'm not understanding the
Well,
question.
I think the timeline is going to help with the jury of how it is that your memory was jogged about that meeting. Okay?
Yes.
Now, you previously stated that you broke off your relationship with Luis when he was arrested in May of 2015, right? For the RICO case.
After, yes.
After. And you still referred to him as your husband, though?
No.
You never did?
At that time I did, but after that, no.
Okay. But at the time, even though you're not married, you refer to him as your husband, right?
Correct.
And you actually referred to him as your husband all the way up until the day that he cut the deal with the state.
If you have something that says that I've been referring to him as that,
Like his emails? From federal.
sure, if you have it, but
And you actually went and visited Luis in the federal detention facility in Coleman, Florida, after all the media came out and before you he cooperated, right?
correct.
Okay, so you guys went and you went and met with him, and at this time you already know everything's been released in the media, right?
Correct.
All right. Now let's talk about the September interview that you gave to the police, okay? This would be September 30th, all right? That is the day that Luis Rivera is cooperating or beginning to cooperate. Well, not really beginning, but is giving a statement to the state attorney's office about his involvement in this case, all right? September 30th, the day before Katy is arrested. Now, when you get this phone call, you already knew that Luis was cooperating because you were expecting this phone call, right?
I don't remember.
So if we were to play the call with Sherry Bennett and you said, I was expecting your call, would you accept my representation? Or?
If you have it recorded, then yes, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could play it, but we'll get back to that. Now, before you give this a statement to Officer Sherry Bennett, who is the one that's doing the interview on the phone, you spoke to his lawyer already, right? That's Chuck Collins?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that conversation between you and Chuck Collins, not recorded, right?
I don't know.
All right. And after that, and the conversation after you've spoken to his lawyer, after you've spoken to Luis, is they're going to call you and record this conversation and take an interview with you on September 30th, the same day that Luis is cooperating, right?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And in that, now this is the first time, the day before Katy's arrested, that you've ever mentioned to law enforcement that you remember this meeting or this time when Katy came to your house with Tuto and that they dropped off the package.
Correct.
That's the first time ever.
Yes.
Okay. And right before the call takes place, you even had a conversation with Monica Jordan, right? That's Chuck Collins' investigator.
I believe so.
And she called you and said, specifically asked you if you remember anything about a drug transaction.
I don't remember. So if you have it written so I could recall, then that would be great.
I'll show you your deposition, page 122. You want an air approach?
Yes.
Okay.
So before the call, his legal team calls you and says to you, he's looking at the death penalty and other people are involved, right?
Yes.
That they asked you with a leading question almost, did they ever do a money transaction? And you told them yes, right?
Correct.
And then they asked you between Tuto and Katy, and you said yes.
Correct.
It's not a situation where they came to you and say, hey, do you remember anything?
No.
They also wanted you to talk to Lewis about getting him to cooperate, right?
Yes.
All right? They actually allowed you to talk to Lewis on September 30th on one of the officers' cell phones
I believe so, yes.
to have a conversation with you so you could talk him into cooperating, right?
I believe so, yes.
And at this time, you believed that from everything that was in the media, that Katy and Sigfrido had something to do with this, right?
I mean, I don't think a brain scientist would know.
But this is, of course, only what you've read online. I mean,
Online.
they
correct.
painted Lewis a certain way, and you lived with him day to day, and you had no idea about that side of Lewis, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, let's talk about what you told them on that September 30th meeting, because you actually told them that Katy and Sigfrido left the house before Lewis got home.
If that's what I told them.
That's what you told them, okay? You also said that when Katy came into the house, that Katy had said, Sigfrido just picked me up, right?
I don't remember, so if it's there, then I said it.
And most importantly, you told them that this incident happened in August or September of 2014.
Yes, because I had my dates wrong then. Yes, correct.
You had the dates wrong then, but they're correct now?
Well, I had just moved. So when that happened, it was in the old apartment. And a couple weeks after that, I moved to the new apartment because we were in the process of getting evicted.
But you understand, though, that your memory doesn't get better with time, right?
It doesn't get better with time and the dates. But once I said something, I said it, like, the truth is the truth.
Exactly.
You're going to always remember the truth.
You
The
remember
lies
the
you're
truth.
gonna-
You can't remember a lie.
Correct.
Okay. And you actually said, at least 2 months after my daughter was born is when this incident happened. That's what you told the detectives.
Correct.
Okay. Now, after this, the very next day after you talk to the police and after Lewis cooperates with the police, Katy is put in handcuffs, right?
I believe so, yes.
All right. All over the news everywhere. Good Morning America, NBC, another arrest made in the Dan Markel case, right?
Yes.
And now, after it's all out there, the very next day, they come to take that October 2nd interview from you. This is when they
Yes.
come to the house and they sit down and they record this conversation. Isn't it true that at this meeting, Maria said, I want to talk to the detectives too? She's there on the recording.
You just refreshed my memory because I didn't even remember her being there, but yeah.
And you told them about a time that you remembered when Louis left for a few days with Tuto, right?
Correct.
And that when Louis came back, he was upset, right?
Yes.
Crying in his sleep,
Yes.
screaming in his sleep,
Correct.
like he probably did something that traumatized him, right?
He always fidgeted in his sleep.
Okay. Now, this time when you talk about this incident where Katy comes and drops off, this is now 48 hours after you've already spoken to Sherry Bennett, right? You told them that Louis was at work when Sigfrido came over.
To my knowledge at that moment, yes.
Okay. And you described the package as Publix bags tied up, right?
Correct.
A brick. And then you told them that you told the detectives again that Katy did not know what was in the bag.
I don't remember. So if I said it,
I mean, I can show it to you. You want me to show it to you?
sure, if it's written down, then yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do the October 2nd statement, page 34, lines 3 to 8. You're on the approach?
May.
This last page and line, please.
Page 34, lines 1 through 8.
I'm gonna object to improper impeachment, Your Honor. I don't think it's inconsistent.
I'm not impeaching, I'm refreshing.
Oh.
Correct.
So you told the detectives that Katy said, she goes, oh, I don't know. You know they're stupid. I don't know what, and she's holding the baby. That's what
Yes,
you said
when
to
I
me.
asked her, what are they doing? Correct.
Okay. You described it as being 12 by 8, correct? The size of the,
Yeah.
a tight, almost like, that's a perfect word, a brick, right?
Yes.
Did it feel heavy like a brick?
I never touched it.
You never touched it?
Not that I recall.
He didn't hand it to you?
No, he went to the room if I recall.
Who did? Sigfrido?
Sigfrido, yes.
Okay. He did always had the package in his hand?
I believe so.
Okay, and went and
To
put
my
it
knowledge.
in your bedroom?
In my bedroom, yes.
Okay. And on that date too, on October 2nd, you actually told Detective Isom and Agent Sanford that on the occasion in August or September, that Katy and Sigfrido left before Louis got there.
I said they flew.
Do you want to
I
look at
didn't
what you
say
said?
in specific that I remember. I could be wrong, but my recollection was that they flew, like in and out.
You remember giving a statement on October 2nd to the police officers in this case, right?
Yes.
And you knew that you had to tell them the truth, because if you didn't, you'd be committing a crime,
Correct.
all right? And Court and Counsel, October 2nd, page 34, lines 11 to 13. He calls Louis and tells him, yo, I just came to your house and I dropped it off with Jessica. Like literally within 15 minutes, they left.
Correct. That's what I said, that they flew.
Okay. But in other words, they were not there when Louis got to the house. That's what you
Yes.
told them.
If you keep on reading, as I remember that I told the detective, when he called him, Tato said, don't leave her with it. So he never got a chance to literally hand it to me for me to even search it, for me to even look, because Tato came flying from wherever he was at, and they spoke, she watched the baby, and then they left.
Yes, but you're saying that now. I'm saying back then, in 2016, you told them twice that Katy and Tuto were not at the house when Louis got there.
I'm pretty sure I said what I said now as well. I said the whole story. So if you're gonna read part of it, then read the
Well,
rest
pick
of it
one of
so
the
I could
statements.
get the knowledge more, but I'm pretty sure that that's what I said.
Let's pick one.
That he didn't want me.
Okay, so I'm referring to your October 2nd statement, okay? 2016, right? Did you review this before you testified in court today?
No.
Okay. So, starting on page 34, he calls Louis and he tells him, yo, I just came to your house and I dropped it off with Jessica. Like literally, within 15 minutes, they left, and 15 minutes, like this guy flew.
That's what I just read with you.
Correct. So
Okay.
am I missing something when you say within 15 minutes they left and 15 minutes like this guy flew?
Okay, and what's after that?
I don't know if he didn't want me to see what was in the bag, and he knows that if that bag was left with me, I'm very nosy. So I like to tend to see what comes inside my house. I used to throw away a lot of his drugs when I didn't want them in my house, and I would get mad. You're not going to put me in a predicament. So 15 minutes, he came, grabbed the bag, and I said, well, what the F is in your bag? He goes, none of your business, none of your business. You're always asking questions. And I was like, whatever. We argued. You never, he left.
Correct.
Okay. You didn't say he left with Katy and Tuto. That's not what you said, right?
No, correct.
And you said previously, as I read in plain English, like literally within 15 minutes, they left.
They flew. Correct.
No, that's not what you said. They left. And 15 minutes, it's the same sentence.
Yeah.
Like this guy flew. In other words, Rivera flew to the house.
Yes.
But you clearly said to the detectives back then that Katy and Sigfrido were not there. They left.
That's what I wrote, but I don't remember it being like that. Like I said,
You'd agree
that
with me.
knowledge. Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay,
Correct.
and a recording is something that's much better, obviously, than someone's memory, right?
Correct.
Because if it's on the recording, we can listen to ourselves what you say and don't have to rely on your memory.
Correct.
Because this is now, that's 2016, this is almost 6 years since you gave that statement, right?
Yes.
And this is the first time that you're testifying in front of anybody about this case,
Correct.
okay? You actually didn't want to come here today, isn't that true?
Correct.
Okay, you said you want nothing more to do with this case, right?
Correct.
And the state had to force you to come in here.
No, they didn't force me.
Okay, did they explain to you that if you didn't come in and testify that you could be subject to contempt of court?
Correct.
Okay. And what happens if you're found in contempt of court, to your knowledge?
I get put in jail, I don't know, until the trial finishes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Louis didn't give you a bunch of cash, right?
No.
Never received any money from him,
Not
right?
to my knowledge.
No. And it wouldn't be smart, for example, like I know Ms. Kappelman said that, he had a bank account and all his legit money went into that bank account from his job, right?
Correct.
Okay, he wouldn't put all of his drug money into the bank, right?
I don't know what he did with his money.
It'd be stupid, though, to put your
Correct,
money in
yes.
the bank because there's a paper trail, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the murder happens in 2014. You and Katy remain friends up until Louis is arrested. And that's the time when she and Sigfrido reconcile in May of 2015, right?
Yes.
And during that time, Katy never said anything to you that would indicate that she was involved or knew anything about a homicide in Tallahassee, right?
No.
Just like how she was, not in a relationship, but she's the mother of Sigfrido's kids. You are the mother of Lewis's kids, right?
Yes.
He kept things from you, right?
Correct.
Okay. You probably kept things from her, right?
Correct.
Okay. And it's been said before, oh, Katy says something and Sigfrido jumps, right?
Yes.
Okay. But if she said stop doing cocaine, that really didn't work, did it?
I mean, the more he would do drugs, it was always when they were broken up.
Right, but the reason they broke up was because of his infidelity, drug use, and alcohol use, right?
No.
Why'd they break up?
I don't know why they broke up. It was, if she didn't get her way in one thing one day, it's over. She'll kick him out.
So like,
or if he was on drugs, then she felt like arguing. It's over. She'll kick him out. So it was really, I can't say what they broke up for.
No, but you just brought up a point. One of the issues was she didn't want him to do drugs, right?
Correct.
But if she said stop doing drugs, he didn't listen to her.
He would listen at times.
He did at times, but he'd always fall back into it, right?
Yes, whenever she would kick him out the house.
And they didn't get back together until Sigfrido straightened up his act. That's how they got back together.
I don't know.
You don't know. All right. Now, even though you were together with Lewis all for the entire year up until he gets arrested, you had no idea that he committed a murder, right?
Correct.
Okay? He kept that completely from you.
Yes.
Because he knows that if you know anything, you could be in trouble.
Yeah, correct.
And you told Lewis that you were glad that he never involved you, right?
Yes.
And he actually told you, I would never do that. You're the mother of my kids. I would never put you in that situation.
Correct.
And you're pretty smart, Jessica, right?
Yeah, I'm smart.
Yeah. And you have what we call street smarts, right?
Correct.
Okay. You've got your wits about you, right?
Yes.
So, like you said before, you're nosy.
Whatever comes in my house, yeah.
And it's because you know you can't trust Lewis 100%, so you have to kind of be on your P's and Q's. You said you had to flush drugs once that he brought into your house, right?
Yeah.
But even though you knew about all of that, Latin King gang member, all of these things, you had no idea that he was involved in this murder.
Correct.
Okay? You even had no idea that he was cheating on you that entire time until you heard the wiretaps in his federal case, right?
I knew he was cheating, I just didn't know with whom. And
But you
the
found
wiretap
out.
showed who, yes.
Okay, and you had to listen to that.
Correct.
Okay? So it's fair to say that Lewis, he's always lying, right?
When it comes, yeah, in that sense. Not lying, just the cheating. I mean,
But he'd lied to you so he doesn't get in trouble.
he wouldn't say yes or no, so I could never tell him if it was a lie or not. He just wouldn't bring it up.
Now, while he was in jail in federal's different than state, right?
I guess I've never been to federal prison, so I wouldn't know the difference.
No, and I only mean in terms of ability to communicate, because they actually have email, right?
Correct.
We don't have email in state or local facilities. But
Yes,
in
they do.
federal, you can actually email with the inmates, right?
Yeah, it's state as well, yes.
Okay. Oh, they do that now in state?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Now, your email address back then when you were communicating with Lewis in June of 2016, okay? This is around the time that everyone's getting arrested. It was siennanegron1020@gmail.com, right?
Correct.
Yes?
Yes.
And you were using that email to communicate with Lewis at the time, right?
Correct.
Now, like we discussed, June 2nd is the date that these detectives came to see you, right?
Yes.
And it already had been out into the media that he was involved in this thing, in this homicide, right?
Correct.
Isn't it true that you told him, I want you to understand me real good, no matter what. I got your back, front, left, right, completely, no matter what. Just know that my actions as of today will be to bring you home. Do you hear me? You are my family. And don't ever think otherwise. Keep your faith in God always. And keep that crown firmly placed on your head.
If I wrote it, I always write, I love you crap whenever I'm drinking and I miss them because of my daughter, but if I wrote it, it's there, yes.
Okay. Your Honor,
Do I remember it? No.
You want to
Yeah.
take a look, or you don't need to?
No, you have it on black and white.
Okay. No further questions. Thank you.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. And you do have his back, right?
Yes,
I mean, he's your child's father.
correct.
Are you together as we sit here today?
No,
Are you planning on resuming your marriage or your relationship upon his release?
definitely not.
Okay. But he will always be the father of your children.
Correct.
And you do care what happens to him.
Yes, I do.
Are you willing to lie under oath for him?
No,
All right. Did you know that the package delivery that we've been talking about was important before the cops came to you and asked about the package delivery?
no,
Did you know that the package delivery had anything to do with this murder before
Not
the
at all.
cops came and asked you?
no, not at all.
All right. So when you went to Coleman Prison and met with Luis Rivera, did you encourage him to cooperate in this case?
I don't think so.
Did you encourage him to work with the police, to tell what he knew, to try to make a deal, anything like that?
No,
So you didn't get involved in any of that?
no,
All right. Did anybody tell you, did I or anybody tell you what it was you should say here today?
no, not at all.
And in determining what date the package delivery business occurred, you mentioned that you got it wrong first. Was there something you had to go back and check on to try to figure out what date the thing occurred?
No, just my thoughts and myself to remember.
Okay, and you mentioned something about a moving your residences. Was that something that helped you figure out when this occurred?
Yes,
Okay, because you do know which address this happened at, right?
correct.
And that was that 135th Street address, right?
Yes,
Okay, and then shortly after that, did you move somewhere else?
yes,
Was that to the house that you talked about?
correct.
Okay, and that's the house where you figured out that the dentist was involved in all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't Luis Rivera want them to leave the package with you?
Because it was money. Apparently now I found out it was money, so I would have left.
You would have taken the money.
I would have taken the money and left. No questions asked.
All right, but you didn't get a chance to look in the bag.
No.
All right, was it unusual for Katherine Magbanua? I mean, did you assume that it was drugs in the bag?
Yes.
And would it have been unusual for Katherine Magbanua to be involved with something like that?
Yes.
Is that why you asked her what's in the bag?
Correct.
And that's because she specifically acknowledged the bag and seemed interested in what was happening with the bag, right?
Yes.
And that was weird.
Objection, leading.
Correct.
All right, these are leading questions. Let's keep that in mind, please.
Was it weird that she seemed interested in what happened with a bag of drugs?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Was it a situation where Katherine Magbanua was asking what's in the bag, or you were asking what's in the bag?
I asked her what was in the bag.
Okay. And she said, I don't know.
Correct.
So that's what she told you.
Yes.
But she didn't ask what was in the bag.
No.
No further questions.
All right, we can release the witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take our break now.